Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into a discussion about the intriguing distinctions between Web3 and Web 3.0. There's a lot to unpack, so let's get right into it.
Absolutely. It's a topic that really highlights the evolving nature of the internet. What's our starting point on this?
Well, the first key point is understanding the coinage and origins. Web3 was coined back in 2014 by Gavin Wood, the Ethereum co founder, to really push forward the idea of a decentralized web using blockchain
Yeah,
technology. His vision was all about creating a more secure, transparent, and equitable web.
right. The decentralization aspect is huge. In a way, it's like moving from a centralized power grid to a distributed network.
Exactly. And then we have Web 3.0, a term coined by Tim O'Reilly in 2006. He envisioned a semantic web, meaning a layer of intelligence where machines can actually process and understand data like we, do. It's all about making our interactions more natural and connected.
So, if I understand it correctly, Web3's focus is on decentralization, using blockchain and cryptocurrencies, whereas Web 3.0 is more about enhancing connectivity and intelligence, right?
Right, that's the crux of it. Web3 is built on blockchain, a distributed ledger that enhances security and transparency, and it leverages cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others to create a system where there's no central authority controlling everything. It's like
Yeah.
handing every user a piece of the network.
And then Web 3.0 takes a different path, focusing on a semantic web that uses artificial intelligence, machine learning, and natural language processing. It aims for an environment where data is more machine readable and interconnected, making it easier for apps to communicate with each other seamlessly.
Exactly. It's like comparing an artisanal bakery that makes each loaf with care using local ingredients, that's Web3, decentralized, secure, and crafted from blockchain, versus a futuristic automated kitchen that uses AI to tailor every dish to your personal taste, which is more like Web 3.0. You nailed that analogy.
Right. That's a brilliant analogy. Now, let's dig into the principles guiding them. Web3 emphasizes decentralization, blockchain based security, and the use of cryptocurrencies to exchange value directly between participants.
Yes, these are the core building blocks. Because of decentralization, no single entity has control over the system, making it particularly resilient against censorship and single points of failure.
Yeah.
That really puts power back into the hands of the users.
Meanwhile, on the Web 3.0 side, the guiding principles are about creating a highly interconnected and intelligent web. This means using semantic data, open standards, and mechanisms that allow for personalization and more intuitive search experiences.
Absolutely. And the idea is to foster a web where machines can understand data contextually, which could revolutionize how we interact with information online. It's like moving from a static library to an interactive digital companion that knows you well.
However, I've read some critics suggest that distinguishing these two might be a bit of an oversimplification. Some argue that as technology evolves, these concepts could eventually converge. What's your take on that?
That's a really good point. There is indeed a debate on whether Web3 and Web 3.0 will converge or remain distinct. Proponents of convergence think that as decentralized systems become more intelligent, we might see a blending of blockchain-based secure systems with semantic web intelligence. It's like when you mix two colors and get a whole new shade.
But on the flip side, others maintain that the foundational differences, a blockchain versus semantic technologies, will ensure these remain separate tracks. It's interesting, though, because typically, innovation finds a way to combine the best of both worlds.
Yes, exactly. And if we consider the practical applications for Web3, we see things like decentralized finance, DeFi, non-fungible tokens, NFTs, and decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs, all flourishing on blockchain networks. Those are reshaping digital ownership and financial systems.
And then there's Web 3.0, which is already showing up in applications like voice assistants, think Siri, Alexa, and tailored recommendation engines on platforms like Netflix and Amazon. It's all about making technology responsive and intuitive.
Exactly, and it's like the difference between a rigid transaction system and an adaptive, personalized service environment. But here's a thought. Some see the focus on decentralization in Web3 as perhaps overly optimistic, given the challenges around scalability and user experience. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Well, I'd say that while decentralization offers incredible benefits, it does come with its challenges. The current infrastructure sometimes struggles with processing speed and ease of use compared to traditional systems. It's a balance that needs continuous improvement.
Agreed. And then there's the other side, where Web 3.0's goal of an interconnected, intelligent network might face its hurdles too, like data privacy concerns and the level of trust we place in AI interpretations. Those are valid concerns for anyone using highly personalized systems.
It really shows that while both paradigms offer exciting possibilities, we need to navigate carefully. Developers must balance security, privacy, scalability, and usability.
Right. And one of the interesting points in the discussion is about the technological maturity of these concepts. Web3 is still pretty much in its early stages, with many projects experimenting with blockchain implementations, but Web 3.0 remains largely a research concept waiting for the right breakthroughs. It's like we're at the frontier of two different yet overlapping explorations.
That's a great way to put it. It almost feels like each has its own ecosystem. And even though both aim to improve how we interact with digital spaces, they tackle different aspects of modern challenges.
Exactly. And overall, whether these paths converge or diverge, they both push the boundaries of what the internet can be.
Right.
They both aim for a future where user empowerment and intelligent interactions are at the core of web experiences.
One thing that also stands out is how the discussion highlights the evolution from simple static web pages to fully interactive, decentralized, and intelligent networks. It's almost like the transformation from a town square to a bustling metropolis designed by AI.
Yes, exactly. And what really gets me excited is the potential for innovation. Imagine integrating smart contracts with AI to facilitate everything from finance to art, all the while keeping the system secure and user-friendly. That's a revolutionary concept if executed well.
Absolutely. Though I do wonder if in our quest for these technological utopias, we might overlook the nuances of user experience, like sometimes too much complexity can alienate everyday users.
That's a fair critique. It's critical that as we build these advanced networks, focus on simplicity and accessibility remains paramount. In a way, all this innovation should ultimately serve to improve everyday life, not create barriers. We need that balance between cutting-edge tech and practical usability.
And speaking of balance, it's fascinating how both Web 3 and Web 3.0 inherently propose an open, transparent ecosystem, each in its own unique way. Yet they approach transparency from different angles, one via public ledgers and one via intelligent data interpretation.
Exactly. It's like looking at two sides of the same coin. With Web 3, transparency comes through cryptographic verification on blockchains, which is great for trust. Meanwhile, Web 3.0's open source and semantic web standards promote interoperability and a more connected digital world. It's a compelling overlap.
Yet I must say, the notion of combining these might lead to some unforeseen challenges. Integrating blockchain with AI-driven semantic processing isn't straightforward. There's a lot of infrastructure, regulatory, and technical work that needs to be aligned.
True. And that's why many researchers advocate approaching this with an open mind, acknowledging that while the potential is enormous, the evolution of these technologies is inherently unpredictable. It might very well depend on broader societal, regulatory, and economic factors. The think tank of possibilities is as vast as it is uncertain.
So, in the end, while Web 3 and Web 3.0 currently serve different functions and rely on different technologies, they both play pivotal roles in shaping the future internet, each with their strengths and challenges.
Absolutely, and it's this dynamic interplay that makes our discussion today so fascinating. We're witnessing the building blocks of tomorrow's digital world, even if the roadmap is still being drawn.
Right on.
It's an exciting time to be following these developments.
Definitely. And I think it's safe to say that whether they eventually merge or remain distinct, the ultimate winner will be the end user, who benefits from a more secure, intelligent, and connected web.
Exactly. It's like the ultimate goal is a web that empowers everyone equally, whether through decentralized applications or through AI-powered intelligent interactions. That's the dream, huh?
It really is. And as we wrap up, it's clear that both visions offer exciting pathways. The future of the internet looks, well, bright and full of fascinating innovations.
Absolutely. And as the debate continues among experts, the key takeaway is to stay informed and open to the endless possibilities of where these ideas can take us. Thanks for exploring this with me today.
Thanks as well. Always a pleasure to dive deep into these conversations. Here's to a future where technology continues to evolve in such remarkable ways.